Welcome to The Cynical Developer, the podcast that helps you to improve your development knowledge and career through explaining the latest and greatest in development technology and providing you with what you need to succeed as a developer. We've recently launched our Patreon page, which can be found at cynicaldeveloper.com/Patreon. If you aren't familiar with Patreon, it's an easy way for those who are interested in this show to help out by simply pledging a small amount each month in sponsorship. Now that could be as little as $5 a month, which is about £3.80, or as much as you like. You will enable us to dedicate more time creating more content to help you, including videos, more blog posts, and even more shows. So if you can, head over to cynicaldeveloper.com/Patreon and get involved. In this episode, I wanted to talk about a topic which I think a lot of developers suffer with, at least at some point in their careers. And especially those who are always striving to be better than they were yesterday, better than they were last week. You know, they just want to be the best developer that they can be. And that topic is losing your confidence as a developer. I personally believe it's tightly linked with imposter syndrome that we have talked about several times, and can be triggered in many ways. And it can have an effect on your personal life as well as your professional life as well. So it's definitely a big problem. Now losing your confidence can often be caused by things that are going on at work. People that are around you at work. People that bring us down rather than build us up. Those sort of people. People are like radiators and vacuum cleaners, to give it a bit of a weird analogy. They can either irradiate heat and make us feel nice and warm and fuzzy, or they can suck everything out of us like a vacuum. They take away all the positives in life, always moaning and complaining and how crappy everything is, and then we start to feel like that. Unlike those people that I said are like radiators, and they're radiating good vibes and positive thinking, and they make us feel good about what we're working on. And you need to avoid some of these people, especially these vacuum people, because once you're empty, this is when you start to become one of these vacuum cleaner people yourself as well, and you bring others down around you. You don't need that sort of negativity around you in your day-to-day work. We all have other problems outside of that. Work doesn't and shouldn't be a problem. And yes, some of us do complain. We all complain from time to time, but we don't complain every second of every waking day. Unlike these people. Fear can also bring you down as well and feed the imposter syndrome. And the more that you feed that imposter syndrome, the more scared you become that you aren't good enough, and you play through those thoughts in your head that are along the lines of things like, everyone knows that you're a failure, that you're faking it, they're going to know, and you're going to get sacked. You're going to end up living in a crisp packet behind a local shop. You have no house and no future. You think that they're laughing at you behind your back, but they're not. It's all in your head, and that brings you down even further. And then you actually start believing what you're saying to yourself. You start feeling that you can't do the job, and that they are going to find out that you can't do it, and then you'd be out on your ear. And those inner voices there that start telling you that you're no good, and that they're going to find out, and that you're going to get sacked. They are the manifestation of the imposter syndrome, and you eventually get to the point where it's sat there laughing at you, sucking away all your self-confidence. And as all that's happening, you've got other things around you, like the stress and pressures of the job. They don't help the situation. These pressures can be from deadlines, they could be from other factors, and they mount up and they weigh heavy on us. And we spend a lot of time, or waste a lot of time, thinking about them, and rather than just getting on with the job, we sit there and we mull them over. We think about it constantly, and it becomes a vicious circle then, because you've gone from being a little bit scared that you're a little bit out of your depth with the job, maybe, to thinking that, for those voices coming, for then the stress of the situation that you're in, because it's a tough job. Being a programmer is not an easy job. It becomes a vicious circle, and you just get stuck in that loop. And when you find yourself in this situation, you really do need to ask for help, and not asking for help and just struggling on just makes it even worse. And we will come to a few things in a bit to say about how we tackle these. But the stresses and the pressures, they're not always within our control. It's not always something that we can sort out, something that we can deal with. The likes of bad projects, and what I mean by that is that they're badly managed. Maybe the code that you're working with badly written. There was no specs. That's outside of your control, but it still makes you feel bad that maybe you can't do something with it, because of whatever reason. And the last thing that I wanted to identify was from the interview process that we all have to go through to get jobs, whether you're a contractor, whether you're a permie, when you're starting out, or you've been doing this for years. Failing that interview, not getting asked to come into an interview, that does take away, it does sap your confidence. But just take some solace, I guess, really, in the fact that all of us don't get every job that we apply for. It happens, and you always get those interviews where you're talking to someone who's not really out to interview you. They're out to show how much they know and how little you know. There's always ulterior motives. Maybe you didn't get it because they already had somebody lined up. It's not always a personal thing. And what I wanted to show by naming these things today is that you're not alone with feeling inadequate and upset by everything that's going on around you. It happens to all of us, like I've said. I find myself bad-mouthing myself after not getting jobs that I've gone for, and even jobs that I didn't really want. But I still feel bad when I don't get offered it from the interview process. How stupid is that? So what can we actually do about these pressures that are really beating us down and sucking away our confidence? And what can we do to get back on the horse and carry on? Regaining your confidence once it's been damaged, it's a really, really tough thing to do, and it takes some time. It takes patience to get it fixed, to get it sorted. And the first port of call that I would advise that you take is talk it through with somebody, your spouse, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. Talk to the dog about it, talk to a close friend or a colleague. Somebody that understands maybe what you're going through, maybe somebody from the industry can help out quite a lot because they understand what the problems are. If you can't find anything or anybody to listen like that, maybe even a therapist, that will help you. Sounding out the issues can often lead to you realising that you are better than what your thoughts are telling you. And it helps to get out of those bad thought loops, and that's definitely the first step. Once you sort of realise, yes, I can actually do this work, doing other things to push you on a little bit more, celebrate those small wins. That really helps. You might have gone into work and today you fix X, Y, and Z bugs, or tasks, whatever you did. Give yourself a pat on the back. You were able to do something. And be happy that you've got something done. Bask in your glory, as it were. If you're still struggling with the stuff that you're working on, look at past successes. It's you'll have got to this point in your career by being good and actually getting stuff done. So look back on that and think, that was difficult, but I got there in the end, didn't I? See how you got there. Maybe it'll help you in the current situation. Be happy and be pleased with the goals that you've achieved as well. You can do your job. You are a capable developer, and understanding that you've overcome hurdles in the past speaks volumes. It really does help. If the stuff that you're working on day to day is too hard and you're finding yourself struggling, work on a side project. Start building something in your own time, something small, and build it with good coding standards. Get it into GitHub, share it around, get it on Twitter, post it to people, ask people for their opinions on the work that you've done. Because they're going to come back and go, yeah, I like this bit about it. This was good. Yeah, good work. Well done. And that just reiterates that you are actually pretty good at what you do. And those little voices in your head are completely wrong. And it is easy to slip into self-deprecating thought patterns, especially if you're struggling with something. I was approached this evening by a relatively new developer while I was on my way to the car after work. And he was at the start of the stress that I've spoken about, and the thought process of I'm not good enough, I can't get this done. And what I advised him, because he'd taken a good first step, he'd confided in somebody about it. I told him not to think about it over the weekend. Just go out, chill out, relax, and I'll help him on Monday, or I'll point him towards somebody that can help him, and we'll get it sorted. Don't worry about it. I've seen the work that you've done before, and it is good. We all struggle. And he had the sense to come and ask for that help. We could all take a leaf out of his book and ask for help sooner rather than later, and myself included in that. Now, I hope that this has been helpful to you, and you can take something from this. Sorry, it's probably a bit croaky, but I'm just getting over a throat infection, so my voice is a little bit sore. But anyway, as always, thank you for listening to The Cynical Developer. I'm James Stoddart. And remember, you are awesome, and you can be better, and you can do what's been asked of you. So until next time, thanks. If you have any questions about this or any other episode, then drop us an email, a tweet, or leave a comment on the website where you can find all the resource links, show notes for each episode. And if you enjoy this episode, please leave a review on your favourite podcast platform, iTunes, Stitcher, whatever it is, and help The Cynical Developer to reach more developers around the globe.